in control against our Tosis debate and keep going back and forth.
That'll be easy.
More field stabilized. Want to turn up the heat? We gotta move.
What is up, guys? It is September 6, 2011. I am JP McDaniel. This is State of the Game, and let's go ahead and reveal our super special guest tonight. It's going to be Benjamin Baker from Team Evil Geniuses, but also we got the usual cast. -1 Sean Day9 Plot. He is on vacation, or as Benjamin would say, holiday this week. He'll be back next week. He'll be back next week, though.
JP, it was me the whole time.
What?
I'm in control.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, what's going on, man? I'm so confused.
Fooled you, you dirty bitch.
Alright, well, we got In Control, of course. Protos user from Team Evil Geniuses over at myag.net. Tyler, a Protos user, also Stride. Gum sponsor, TeamLiquid.net. Artosis, one half of the Casting Archon. You can watch him cast the GSL with Tasteless at gomtv.net. And, of course, the British fellow who plays Terran is also a member of Team Evil Geniuses, Benjamin DeMusliM Baker. Ben, welcome to State of the Game, man. Glad to have you here. And I'm sure everyone else in the Terran world...
sorry for interrupting you there.
Oh,
yeah,
God, he's going to be one of those people. He's going to apologize for everything.
Sorry.
He just did it, man. Christ. Well, there's actually not too much to talk about tonight. So we're going to be doing a lot of user questions, but that's going to be towards the end of the show. Start sending those questions over to twitter.com/itmejp or /itmejp, and we'll answer those later on. But first
Thank
off,
God for a Terran on the show.
Exactly. Thank God for a Terran on the show.
Oh!
And before we even get to talking about Terrans, well, I guess we're going to be talking about Terrans, but it's going to be talking about SixJacks. And Artosis just happens to be a member of that team, and the controversy happens to revolve around Major, a Terran player. Now, Jeff, why don't you give us a quick recap on exactly what's gone down with the SixJacks Major controversy?
Well, there are a lot of he said, she said's coming out of that thread. And again, it's nice having Artosis on here. I'm sure he can clear that all up for us. He's well informed on everything that's going on there.
Indeed.
But at first, it was looking like he was just released. You know, they didn't really... I think they just kind of initially said that he broke a couple of rules and they didn't want to support him anymore. Then he came out and said, nah, I always wanted to leave. You guys aren't sending me to Korea, and I didn't really make that big a mistake. He was downplaying the sea error thing, and then said he didn't do anything else. To which SixJacks then came out and said, actually, you've done several things we didn't like. You cursed out DDE. You got a technical foul at MLG for saying fuck you to someone. Want to be cool.
Yep.
And then I guess he...
His jersey.
Told his team that he wasn't... He gave his jersey to some fans, but in fact just left him in the hotel room. So they said that after those kind of actions, they can't support him anymore, and they removed him. And that brings us to Artosis.
Yeah. What's up? I don't know what to say, man. I mean, he broke rules. He didn't act professional enough, and he was cut from the team. So that's kind of it.
You think if he was a...
Who did you recruit to SixJacks?
Oh, okay, you'll go down that route, but then I'll come back.
Major, obviously. And Skew.
No. And Skew?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Don't know for the questions.
Alright, well, I'm coming back down that road. Do you think if Major was winning more tournaments, or first off, do you know if he left on his own or he was actually removed? Because SixJacks said that they removed him, correctly?
It was a removal, but it was mutual.
Okay.
It was a mutual.
Okay, I was going to say, do you think if he was like a bigger name player, someone like
No.
Indra or something, if they would have
No.
actually done that? But
Yeah, they would have.
all right.
Well, okay, let's take it this way then, because Dan's not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Dan, you're Major's mentor,
Yes.
right? As far as StarCraft 2 is concerned. So, joking aside, he is a phenomenal player. I think everyone agrees with that. No one's going to be like, well, he's not really that good. No, he's fucking amazing. He's a really good player. And his potential is even higher. He's actually a young guy. He works hard. He emulates the Korean playstyle. His potential's through the roof. But part of the reason why he keeps getting haunted by, like, this persona is from team to team, he's the X Factor. There's always a shit following him around. There's always something going wrong, whatever. Are you talking with him? Are you working with him? Like, you get a lot of crap, too, because this has been going on since Brood War, where you've been propping him up, talking about how good he is, and bringing him to your teams, and now here we are again. I mean, what do we do?
Well, he's a dumb kid. I've been over this before, and I'll continue to go over it. I guarantee you I sit around and yell at him a lot, and I mean, that's it, man. I just got to keep doing it, and I'm not just gonna like throw him away. I'm still helping him out, and I see a lot of potential. And the thing is, I see like so much of my early Brood War self in him. You know, he's like this angry, angsty guy that, you know, I want to help him. He's got a lot of talent, as you said, and one of the reasons he has all this talent is because he's so socially retarded. So I'm gonna try to help him to fix those things in his personality, and hopefully that'll work out, and he'll grow up eventually, and stop acting like he has been. I hope. We'll see.
Now, Ben, if we were in good old England, what would be the torture device that would be used to get Major out of SixJacks?
We'd just, we'd bore him to death or something like that. Can't really answer that one properly, but yeah, I actually quite like the guy. I know he went through a rough time in SixJacks, and he taught to me a lot, but yeah, he's a good player and stuff, and it's kind of sad that he is a bit retarded. But yeah, don't really know what else to say about it.
Do you think he'll find another team? Is there a team out there that'll give him another shot, or is he going to be on his own?
I'm sure there is, but it won't be like one of the top professional teams that's kind of worried about their image, because yeah, nobody wants their image dampened. Like, he's going to be in one of these teams where he is their ace player for sure, because he's like he's really good. Nobody can deny that, as Jeff said earlier. So, but it's going to be one of these teams that wants to work their way up, not one of these teams that's already like established themselves.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting sometimes. I mean, like with Phoenix, who just recently left Fnatic as well.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix is a friend of mine. Actually, not as well. I'm not necessarily friends with Juan, but not that I'm enemies with him. But he's actually a tough guy to have on your team as well. I know that Phoenix is a pretty big headache on the managers as well. He's just constantly upset about contractual stuff and doesn't really get along with teammates. He'll call them out, yell at them, say really bad stuff, and it's just that kind of stuff goes on behind the scenes. But same as Major, he's an absolutely phenomenal player, and he's committed to pro gaming. He's gonna that's what he does. So he took the Korean professional route, where there's a language barrier. There's like 3 layers of this language barrier that's now blocking Phoenix from being bad mannered to them. So he's actually just a great player, sits in their house, brings attention, and works hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that from Major. I don't know that he would settle for being on a second tier or third tier team. Maybe he would. Maybe a team would take him, but I got to echo DeMusliM sentiments. I don't know that a complexity. Well, okay, that was a bad example. They're all former Root guys. They certainly wouldn't take him, but I don't know what team would take him.
Yeah. Tyler, you got any thoughts on the matter? Well,
oh man, you hit every angle with everyone else.
Yeah, of course I did. Tyler, let's talk about what you know. Let's talk about whiskey, because you're going to be doing a taste test for us.
Oh.
Tell us about the 3
Am I?
whiskeys
You're
that
putting
you
me
have.
on the spot, man.
Hey man, you actually just did the whole. Everyone's already said what's the answer. So now you're on the spot, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about the whiskey.
Well, I have 3 whiskeys. I have Jim Beam Double Age, Jim Beam Black. I got. I'll just show them.
Yeah,
why
you can
not?
show 'em,
Just
man.
show them.
Show them.
Jim Beam Double Age Black.
Okay.
Good old Southern Comfort.
SoCo, ugh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
I
of
hate that
Southern
stuff
Comfort.
now.
Yeah.
That sounds like a story, Ben.
It is for
And
private.
then,
Okay.
can I show this label? Is this still behind the scenes? Do you know, JP?
Oh, I actually don't know. That's actually. Mysterious whiskey number 3.
You got
Yeah,
some beta whiskey, Tyler.
I have beta whiskey.
We do have some beta whiskey. That is quite
I
true.
have beta whiskey. I don't want to cross any lines I
Is
shouldn't.
it a closed beta or an open beta?
Well,
Where do
Oh, I
it's
heard
definitely
about that,
closed.
Tyler. It's totally fine. You can show it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Good
just
old
actually-
Alaska Distillery now
Just
has.
lied this shit.
Jeff,
It's
it's
fine,
on
it's
you.
It's fine. It's on me.
I know what happened there. Like,
it's on me. He
he
loves us.
could be lying, but Jeff took responsibility. It's on
Take
my shoulders.
responsibility.
The bottle's on the camera. That's what
Well,
happened.
I had to sign an NDA for this, so
What did it say?
it said don't talk about this whiskey, and it said sign here, so I signed.
No, you're lying.
Just
He's lying.
show the whiskey, man.
You haven't signed an NDA since that. I don't know. I have no joke follow up there.
Yeah,
Damn it.
it's just all right. So
So
Tyler,
anyone who's had Southern Comfort, that's kind of a. I had it, and it's the only. I don't have like a bar full of whiskeys, so these are the whiskeys that I had. And Southern Comfort is kind of a out of left field kind of whiskey. It's very like sweet and
nasty.
I don't know. Oh, it's not nasty, but it's different. So
The Alaska Distillery stuff is amazing. Everything.
Is the whiskey? Have you tried it all yet, Tyler? I know you drank some before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't
the best,
I don't
man?
have this vocabulary of.
Which one is the
whiskey
richest
tasting.
oak? And I don't know what actually. That's all. Oak, man. What tastes like oak? That's what they would say.
I gotta say, right now, I prefer the Jim Beam flavor a little bit,
Okay.
but Alaska Distillery, I know, is not done with this whiskey. They're still tweaking it. It's still in beta testing, to put it in Artosis nerd terms. So,
Oh,
they're-
man.
Messing around with the bunker build time on that whiskey.
exactly.
yeah,
They're still
yeah.
working on that.
Still working
So
on
they're
it.
still-
Hopefully, it's not the bunker timeline.
Well, what I like about all the Alaska Distillery products is, like, they're so smooth, man. Like, the flavor isn't fully there yet, I don't think, but it's really, really smooth, and the base flavor is, like, really nice. So they just need to add a little more complexity, figure out how they want to get their, like, signature taste to it.
What
It's
is
gonna-
our?
I don't know
I
what-
feel like I just started a new show called State of the Liquor or something like that. Should actually go into this more, but then we'd just be drinking Alaska whiskey every episode. So last week we said we were going to talk about NASL. We didn't get quite there. Have they started broadcasting NASL Season 2 yet?
No.
Okay. Well, then it's still timely. So let's go ahead and bring up the groups. I linked it to you guys in chat because I know you are inept at actually finding it yourselves. Division 1 is going to be Vibe Hero, White Rod, DeMusliM. Hey, glad we got Ben on here. DeMusliM, Lowly. Who is Lowly? Who is that?
He's a StarCraft 1 guy. He's the best
Belarusian
Belarusian
Zerg.
player.
Tyler, don't shake your head at me, man.
I'll shake my head at you. I'm tired of getting flack. Just because I'm on this show, then all of a sudden I don't know what Europe is. Like, that's what it's come to. And JP, you ride that out. You're purposely ignorant of Europeans, and it's...
Yeah,
I had
man.
to shake
I'm
my
actually
head.
Benjamin here is representing all of Europe because I'm doing good things. I'm bringing Europe into the show. But we're not going to get his opinion on anything. He's just going to be here to talk, to stand there and look pretty. But who else is in the rest of the group? Phoenix, Cruncher, Sheth, DeMusliM. What do you think about Division 1, man? You're obviously in it.
I think it's a pretty alright division. I mean, Hero's the Korean of the group, and he's done pretty well at MLG. I think he finished top 6 or so. Lost out, unfortunately, to Dom Ragu. He's strong. Phoenix has just moved to Korea. Joined IEM. He's doing very well for himself. White Rat, obviously, big name. Chef doing well recently. So it's got some powerhouses in there, but I think it's a pretty well-rounded group. Hero obviously stands out, but then I think it's a massive fight for second place. Yeah, I think it's pretty well-rounded.
Now, what are your thoughts on Lowly?
Okay.
Tyler seems to have quite a bit of thoughts. We'll get his in just a second. Make sure you
Well-
don't steal him, though.
Lowly actually knocked me out the NASL Season 1 qualifier, or Season 2 qualifier, actually. And he's a pretty strange Zerg. Like, if you watch him play, if Greg watched him play, he'd be like, wow, this guy's freaking terrible. Because he'll just make 20 lings when you're not meant to make 20 lings. But he'll do stuff with them. So he's one of these Zergs that you can't really predict. You can't, like, go straight into the game with your set course, because he's just going to do his own thing. He's pretty weird. He's pretty good, though. But yeah, he relies on how weird he is.
Tyler, what are your thoughts on Lowly?
Oh, that was an excellent analysis. I'm gonna
It was. He actually described a StarCraft 1 and a StarCraft 2 play in that.
It's true. It was.
He said 3 words, and Tyler actually answers the question somehow. How does that happen?
Loli was quite excited when he heard the Zergling was going to be brought into StarCraft 2 as well. He was like, "Well, there goes my plans to play World of Warcraft. Guess I'm sticking with StarCraft."
Now, what about the American representation there? Cruncher, Sheth, and Vibe. Jeff, how do you think they're going to do in that group? We could have some
Sheth's been on
Americans
fire.
representing?
Sheth's been, he took 2nd place in the NA Invitational. He practices, he works hard. He's just a strong, good Zerg player, and anytime he does anything in an event, you can count on him not like looking terrible. He's just always playing really, really well. So he's a tough competitor in that group. Cruncher and Vibe are a little bit different. I think Vibe's kind of an anomaly for me. I used to talk him up a lot, and I thought, he's got a lot of potential, and I think he still does, but I don't know how much he practices. I don't see him around in events that much anymore. Maybe he is working really hard, and if he is, then I apologize for not giving him better representation, but I just don't know. And then Cruncher, I don't know. His results have been starting to take a little bit of a dip. A lot of Protoss players' results have been taking a dip, and I think it's a little bit the metagame stuff that's been going on, but I don't know if it's affecting him more than anybody else, but he hasn't been doing too well, so we'll have to see. I mean, this could be where he has his bust-out performance again.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what Korean it was, but he played a Korean, I believe, on IPL earlier today and lost 1-2, so he can at least take games off Korean, so it's definitely something.
Yeah.
Artosis, White Raw, how do you think he's going to do?
Well, White Raw is obviously very good, and he can do quite well, but what is the deal with, how are they doing the latency this time? Is everyone just playing on the North American server at 5 a.m. again, or is that how it's going?
If 2 European players play, they can play on Europe, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure the same rule would apply for Koreans, but there's so few Koreans that that's not really an issue.
And it's still the rough time zones on the Korean players?
I
right?
want to say they go a little bit deeper into the evening, actually, this time, so it's a little bit better for Koreans, but again, there's fewer Koreans now, so it's like...
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I look at that group. I know you're asking me about White Raw, and I'm sure he'll do well, but Phoenix has been improving, unbelievably lately. He came over to StarCraft 2 and kind of played exactly the same as he did in StarCraft 1 with, strong mid-game, a lot of harass and cheesy stuff, but recently he's been playing, the sickest macro games, so... I don't know. My eyes keep going back to him, and I feel like he's going to top 2 that group somehow. Even though there's obviously Hero, White Raw, Sheth in there, and then also DeMusliM's coming back up. I don't know. I'm feeling Phoenix.
All right.
I'm feeling DeMusliM. We're not talking about it because DeMusliM's in the group. He's being modest, but Ben's pretty freaking good. Watch out.
That's what I hear.
Tyler, is Hero going to take it? Is that your answer?
I don't know. I think he's probably the slight favorite, but not enough of a favorite to be like, oh, he's going to take it. But I think he's a little bit better than all of those players. But it's going to be a contested group, though. I think between, like Dan was saying, Phoenix, DeMusliM, Sheth, and Hero, I think those 4 are definitely the favorites. And White Raw, he's always going to mix it up. Mm-hmm. But White Raw seems a little more explosive to me than he does consistent. So it's hard to say how he'll do over the entire division. But yeah, it's a pretty good group. Good group.
Let's move on to Division 2. It's going to be Huck, Rain, Dark Force, Braddock, is it Braddock or Braddock?
Braddock.
I hear so many people say, okay, Braddock. Hey Pro, Moonin, Axlov, and Mana. It's not mana. Let's see. It's a lot of... Well, it's not too many Protosses. Tyler, you go first this time. Who's the big standout in that? Is it Huck? Or I guess Rain and Huck?
I feel like this group is good for Rain, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Rain. And I want to see how Mana does in this group, because
that's true.
Mana's been playing some really impressive series, and so it's nice to put him in this kind of format where he has to play all these best of 3s, and we get to see long term how he performs. So I almost want to say Mana is a favorite for top 3 or so, and Huck and Rain are the ones that stand out to me.
Or Tosis, or Jeff.
Yeah.
What do both of you guys think? Whoever goes first.
Well, Rain, for Rain, it's going to be like on a really good time and good latency because he's in America now. So I think that's going to help him out like hugely in the group. And I don't think he's like the most talented player in the group. He's obviously very good. He's done well lately, but I feel like he's going to top 2 that group almost no matter what because it's going to be so comfortable for him to play against, like he's going to some events, but like Huck is literally living on an airplane right now, and he's going to play at like weird times in Korea with latency. So while obviously he's a player that you look and you're like, well, I'm pretty sure he's a little bit better than Rain, but still Rain has that little leg up. So I could see Rain doing really, really well here.
Oh, and Cloud is replacing Moonin.
Oh, Cloud is?
Oh, okay.
I just saw that post somewhere. Yeah.
Cool.
This is the graphic I got last week, so it might be, I guess, outdated by a week.
Yeah.
I thought Huck's been pretty public about not wanting to play cross-server, right? I remember back in the... So, I mean... Jeff,
Something changed.
Is it an EG change or is that a Huck change, Jeff?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I know that the Korea to NA latency has improved. They've gotten VPNs at most of the playing houses, and they figured it out fairly well. The hour is still pretty bad.
What is that?
It's a nerd term, man. It's like...
I'll tell you later,
like the
Dan.
Matrix and shit.
I'll explain it to
Matrix
you.
and shit. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I actually couldn't explain it if my life depended on it. I'd have to Google that so fast. But it's nice to see because it was kind of sad that Huck was removed from virtually everything outside of Korea.
Yeah.
But as far as favorites, I have to echo their sentiments. I think Rain is one of those Koreans where like nobody would be terribly shocked if a foreigner beat him. It's not like if like a Bomber or an ST lost or something like that. It's not you can make your whole career off that one time you beat Rain, but he's dangerous against everybody, I think, because he plays such an incredibly strange and aggressive style. He's capable of attacking at any time with anything, basically. Like he's just an over-aggressive Korean with great control, so he's just a very dangerous player. But Huck, Rain should be the favorites of that group, I would imagine. And then, can't help but to take my EG hat and say Axlav's been playing great StarCraft 2 lately, so hopefully he represents himself well in there.
Now, Tyler, Hey Pro is just one of those players where the commentator starts the game and he's like, well, Hey Pro's a really great player. Is he going to do well this time? And then it doesn't usually go his way. Is that going to be more the same? I mean, when is he actually going to break out?
I think he's in a little bit of a slump right now. I think he's one of those players where he knows how to play better, but it's hard for him to actually make those changes and bust out of his comfort zone. And he can look back at a game and say, yeah, that was a bad idea, and then do it again the next game. But it's not so stupid like that. I think the players here can agree. Sometimes you just can't radically change what you're doing. And so he's had some changes, keeping up with the trends and stuff. But he always seems to lag a little bit behind. We have seen in StarCraft 1, though, that he's an impressive talent when things come together for him. He was like DreamHack champion like 2 or 3 times in a row or something like that for StarCraft 1. So I'm not sure when this caterpillar is going to become a butterfly. But
Oh, that was perfect.
it's hopefully it's in ASL Season 2.
That's actually my new quote whenever I commentate a Hey Pro game. I'm not sure when this caterpillar is going to become a butterfly.
That's true.
It's going to happen, though. He's a caterpillar.
It is going to happen, man.
Does it
is.
He's not a worm.
Does it come down to nerves, Tyler, or is it just...
He has some nerves, yeah. And sometimes that could be especially at a live event, that it compounds this inability to do something extreme, especially in the middle of a series, like the strat you went in just got totally owned, and it's like, okay, you have to do something different or you're going to stand a chance. And some people, a Machine comes to mind, old school Machine, do the same thing over and over and over. It's like, no, Bryce, don't do that. It's not going to work. Trust me. And then 3 years later, Bryce is like, oh, okay, I'll try something new. And now Bryce is getting good. But yeah, there's a little bit of that. Some nerves can compound the issue.
It's also, losing's contagious, man. So is winning, but if you start losing and people start hating on you and saying, you know, like when Team Liquid's talked about it, it's Haper that's mentioned as like, what's he doing on the team? What's he belong there? Us Brood War players know his fantastic past and know his potential, but it's hard to get into that cellar and then get back out of it. So I speak from experience, obviously.
There's no way to transition out of that. It's not a sad, Jeff. Sorry, man.
I didn't mean it to be sad.
It's just a sad story, man. Ben,
Jesus.
Ben, who are the Europeans here that you think are really going to shine?
Actually, I think it's going to be a really rough group for the Europeans. In this group, it also depends when the patch is coming in, because I think that's going to affect this group especially more than any other group, or at least from what we've seen. Reason being, Dark Force and Hapro are ZVT specialists. That means it's going to be a really hard time for all three of those Terrans against those guys. And these Terrans, I don't think they're that great against Protoss either. I definitely think Huck and Mana are going to do really well in it. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to see how Bratok does. He's always surprising. He can either have like a total flop or be really good against Protoss and Terran. So it depends a lot on when the patch comes, to be honest, because then Protoss is a little bit better against Terran. Terran's a little bit worse against Zerg. And yeah, I mean, Rain, as you guys said, he's pretty good. And he's one of the top three in that group for sure, like just based on skill. But Dark Force and Hapro, they're no pushovers for any Terran. So let's say all these Terrans lost to both the Zergs, and then the Protosses went 50-50 with Terrans. The Protoss is going to end up on top. So I see Huck and Mana even going top 2, and then Axlav coming somewhere around 4th. But maybe Rain 3rd.
All right, we'll have to see how that unfolds. Moving along to Division 3. A lot of Swedes in this group. We've got, is it Wangson? Or am I pronouncing that correctly? Wangshin. Okay. Softball Jinro, Sho, Moro, Sok, Idra, and Kiwikaki. This group's... Would this be the group of death out of these 5 groups here?
I don't think so.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I think
a lot
Group
of
4
big
is
names
really
in
hard.
here. Do what, Ben?
I think Group 4 is really hard. Like, Group 4 and 2 are pretty hard, in my opinion.
What?
Or Division 2 and 4, sorry. I think they're harder than 3.
I don't know. I feel like Division 1 is the hard one, man. I don't know.
Well, I guess that means it's going to be a good tournament with that many good
They're
players.
pretty well balanced.
Group 3, though, or Division 3, Jeff, just start off with you, obviously the big name there, Idra. The only American in that group, actually. How do you think he's going to do?
I think it's a pretty great group for Idra. I mean, there's a few in that group that I can look at and say that are fairly simple wins for him. I think the Zergs and then Softball are pretty sure bets for him. In terms of Protoss, which seems to be a little bit of his Achilles heel from tournament to tournament, it's Kiwikaki, Sok, and then who is the other Protoss? Huangshin.
Yeah.
Huangshin being a Korean, so that's always difficult. They're pretty sound mechanics. But then Kiwikaki and Sok, I think that's the big X factor in that group, determining whether Idra goes like unbeaten and makes it out of there doing really, really well, or if this is another one of those tournaments where people look at it and say Idra's having a tough time, because Kiwikaki pulls wins out of his butt, man. I don't know where they come from. He beat Red. He beat Chef. He puts together strategies for opponents
Who was the Korean
that are
who beat
very
it?
dangerous.
Ed Raleigh?
Nada.
Beat Nada.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of Zergs, Red and Chef.
Yeah.
And then the others, Protoss Sok. Sok does, I mean, he's been on fire. I haven't seen any of his games, so I can't really comment on him too much, but he's been doing really well in Europe right now. Certainly making a name for himself as one of the top 5 Protosses over there, and that's a huge statement. They got a lot of good Protoss.
Tyler, what do you think about Division 3?
Oh, Idra's gonna have some problems, I think, man. Especially depending on when the patch comes at ZVP. That ZVP. Yeah, so sucks for the North Americans there. Kiwikaki, this guy, like, he's so on and off, I mean...
This guy, man.
That sounded like
guy.
Christopher Walken a little bit, man.
I didn't mean to channel Mr. Walken, but Kiwikaki, like, I love to see him play well. I think everyone loves to see him play well. But he's been a little bit on and off, so he's another guy that's hard to call, but I'm going to go ahead and put my faith in Kiwikaki and say top 3 for him. Huang Xin, I'm not so sure he has like a complete game. I don't know if I agree that like he's got those solid Korean mechanics that are going to help him ride through the group. He's good. There's no doubt about that, but I think he's a little bit like Rain, like Jeff was saying, you don't make a career out of beating this guy. He's not that level yet. And Protos plays a little bit differently. We're used to Korean Terrans, and, Terran is a stronger race than Protoss, so when you have a Korean Terran, it's a lot different than having a Korean Protoss, and there's a little more vulnerability there. So, I'm going to say Kiwikaki, Jinro, gotta root for my teammate Jinro, and those are my 2 favorites for the group.
Really?
Dan, I think Dan, you probably have the most experience out of at least watching softball play, right?
Yeah.
His GSL experience. How do you think he's going to do, and do you even know how he's really been doing as of late?
Yeah, well, I know that softball, he was the best player, basically. I mean, that could be debated slightly, but he was in the Taiwanese Star League that Sen just joined. Before Sen, he was kind of like the ace of the league. And they were all playing the Korean server even back then before the servers merged. So, and he was actually ranked really highly on the Korean server during that time. He was like, back before Grandmasters came out, this is the last time I checked on him, he was like really, really high on it, maybe top 300 or so, which is, I mean, that's pretty good on the Korean server. And, I feel like he's probably taking it really seriously. I haven't really checked into him lately, but he might turn some heads with his play, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure, though, exactly how softball will do. That's interesting. I'm surprised that Tyler said he thinks Jinro will get out of there. I feel like he's an underdog in this group. He hasn't really been performing that well lately, and Sho has been kicking ass lately. So I feel like, and especially his TBT. True. I mean, we've all seen the programmers saying. Right? I know he's coming.
Well.
Yeah, I don't think he's here yet.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, Sho. I mean, this is actually a really hard group to predict. But I think Huang Xin is not close to unbeatable. I feel like Jinro is the underdog in the group. Morrow and Aija are like so sick good, both of them. And Sho is just on fire. And Kiwikaki, of course. I mean, that guy. I don't know. This is a hard group to say, but I would definitely say I don't see Jinro getting out.
Morrow apparently doesn't lose ZVP, so for all the Protoss players and Zerg players out there, watch out for those games. Because that's, if you want to talk about ZVP and PvZ and where it's at right now in the foreigner scene, Kiwikaki and Sok are pretty good representation of some of the best Protoss players we have. So.
And Morrow, he's interesting because he plays TVZ, ZVT, and PvZ. I mean ZVP. So his ZVP, it's really good, as you just said, and then he plays both sides of the other matchup, he's like going to be so deadly because he's really going to get that matchup inside out. And then normally a player like that, the other matchup is what they're weak at, but if that's like his strong matchup, that's actually really scary, man. I could definitely see him like killing that group.
I have to give an editorial commentary on Sho. Because I watched Sho, like Dan was saying, Sho's been playing really well, impressive. I like the guy. He's friendly. He's cool. He's slow though. He's a slow player, and I have to say, like, I feel like after watching him, because I stood behind him at MLG, watched a couple of his full games, and like you have to be fast to be as good as you can be. That's like just the bottom line. And I think I kind of get like his philosophy behind being slow because he's very controlled, and he's not that slow. Like he has good control. In one of the matches I watched, like there was constant like Baneling 2 different spots at once, and he was handling it. He has good crisis management despite being slow, and he's just very smart and controlled. But I think he's got to let that go, and assuming he watches this show, you got to let that go, man. Especially if you get a chance to train with Koreans a lot. Like when you're practicing, you have to do shit that you're not comfortable doing and that's beyond your capability. So if you ever want to be able to do something faster but have the same amount of control that you currently do and the same amount of comfort, you have to first go out of your comfort zone and practice it, and then it becomes your comfort zone. You know what I mean? And if you always stay in your comfort zone, yeah, you'll get faster, but it's very, very slow. And so you have to use your practice time to sometimes do shit that you're not capable of, and then you do it enough, and then you're capable of it. And like, he's just particularly slow for a pro player, and so I feel like if he feels like he has 2 or 3 months to really throw away a lot of practice time in the strategic sense, because when you're fucking up your mechanics because you're trying to play too fast, you don't learn a lot about strategy because you're losing games because you're being sloppy, then make that investment, man, and become a faster player. It's going to be sick. I don't know, Dan, is that... You're nodding your head a lot.
That's super well said, man. Seriously. Everyone should actually listen to that. That's exactly how you have to do it if you want to become faster. And yeah, Show is actually a player that I have been sitting around like thinking that he's going to go away, but he keeps getting better and better. But I mean, yeah, the EPM is definitely a part of that. He was very well known for not scouting for a while, and that's like those are two huge things in
He started
StarCraft.
scouting, by the way?
Yes, by the way.
Yeah, he scouts.
Okay.
He scouts.
That was a funny period of time.
Yeah, that when he was doing that, I was just sitting around. I was like, people are starting to talk to me about, hey, should we just not scout? And I'm like, oh my god, I wish you didn't say that in an interview. But no, he keeps getting better, and he needs to do exactly what Tyler said. If he wants like a long-term super career, because he's really smart and really good right now, but eventually everyone's going to catch up in that. People are going to see it. It's going to be figured out, and he's going to need to be fast as hell to deal with them at that time. Well, that's probably one of the reasons, by the way, why he's so good at TVT is you don't need as much speed for that matchup when you're just siege and tanks and whatnot.
Maybe he'll pick up some speed when he goes over to Korea. Ben, what do you think about that group? And also, do you have any thoughts on Show as a player?
Show, he's a very good player, but he's kind of like a hit and miss player. He'll go through phases where he's really good and then phases where he's really bad. Reason being, he is a very smart player. He'll come up with a build and a style, do it for a while, then he'll win every tournament for a while until people kind of realize what he's doing. And then if people just mimic his play, they'll actually do it better than him. So that's why he like drops off the scene for a while, and then he'll come back again with something new. So he's very good at like coming up with like the goods, but he's not very good at executing them. Although he has dealt he does macro and stuff pretty well, and he can multitask, but people just do it that little bit better. So that's why he's such like a hit and miss player. You've seen it where he's gone for a month and won absolutely everything. Then you don't hear about him anymore. The group itself, I think Morrow and Hydra are the most solid players. They're the most consistent. Sockie, Show, and Kiwi Kaki, they've all had they're like a roller coaster. Sometimes they'll do amazing, sometimes they'll do terribly. But I see those 5 as the top 5. Those are the big dogs. Jinro, he's fell off. Don't know what's happened to him recently, and I'm pretty sad about that. Softball, I saw him at BlizzCon last year. If he hasn't, he's obviously improved since then, but I don't think he took the game very seriously. Huangxin, I played him a few times, and that guy's just very cheesy. If the patch comes in and the Immortal's buffed, his Immortal push that he does every freaking game will help him out a lot. But if it doesn't, then he's a bit screwed. So I see Morrow and Hydra as like the most solid players in the group. And then I see if Show and Sockie are performing as well as they can definitely top it too. So pretty strange group, and the patch could also help things. Also, Show and Morrow live together, so Morrow will be helping Show for Idra, and Show will be helping Morrow for Jinro and Softball. So those two, I think, have got a pretty good chance.
Now, coming right back at you, Ben, Division 4, you said, was the scariest group for you? Am I misquoting you?
Yeah, I think it is a very scary group, yeah.
So let's run through the names real quick. We've got Inca, Sin, Strelok, Nightend, Moonglade, In Control, Select, and Red. Ben, why so the scariest group?
The people that aren't very well known in that group are actually still pretty good. Inca and Nightend, people don't know about them. Nightend, when Boxer was doing well, Nightend took out Boxer. Nightend's got a very scary PvT. Inca's a very smart Protoss. People don't know about him, but he's one of the, I won't say one of the leaders in the foreign scene for Protoss, invention, but he's definitely, implementing a lot of stuff into his play, such as Warp Prism drops and stuff. So he's scary as well. Moonglade, don't know much about him. I think he's fell off a bit recently, but he can always bring his A game and do pretty well. Sen, he's probably the big dog of the group. He's always very scary, very strong. But then you've also got people like Strelok that are real ridiculously scary. Like, his mechanics may not be good, but if he prepares for a matchup, he's going to wreck it. Like, he's got some scary timing attacks. Then you've got Select and Rhett that are just very, very solid. And you've got Jeff, too, who's a smart Protoss. We won't go too much into Deotel since he's in the same room, but I think it's a pretty scary group, and there's definitely 5 people that, if I go up against them, I'm a bit worried. So
Who wins that group, Ben?
Sen.
Rhett's up there too.
Rhett is definitely up there too, but I think Sen right now, he's one of those Zergs that I don't really get to play a lot. Like every other Zerg out there, I'm very familiar with his style, be it I see it a lot or whatever, whereas Sen, he's one of the guys that can mix up a lot. He can throw roaches at you, he can throw Baneling drops at you, he can throw absolutely everything at you, so you go into the game not knowing what to expect. Why the other guys like Rhett are just as fast as Sen, maybe even a little faster. Sen's more dynamic. Like, I don't really know what I'm going to get with him, but also he can pull off everything, so I find him pretty scary.
Now, Jeff, you're in Division 4. Who are you like most afraid of, I guess, to start off with in that group?
Sen and Rhett for sure. I mean, Sen is a debacle to watch. Like, I study each of these players and get prepared for them, but Sen doesn't really scout Protosses. He doesn't really... kind of just expands whenever the hell he wants to. And then he wins everything, all the time. And it's really hard to watch his play and be like, okay, here's an obvious weakness, or here's something I can exploit. No, he's all over the board, he does everything. This game's like a walk through the park for him. He's just like, man, this game I'll make Zerglings, this is cool. So, I don't know, he just does different shit. It's really hard, but he's tough. It's just really hard to prepare for him. And then Rhett is scary because going into the match, I know that he is the greediest of the greedy players on the planet. So I'm going to try as hard as I can to exploit that, but he's also a smart guy, and he'll actually do research on his opponents as well, so he prepares himself for what he thinks his opponents are going to do as well. He's only greedy when he thinks he can get away with it, you know, it's not like he... actually, no, he's pretty much greedy all the time, but it's still scary. So I don't know, Zergs are hard, they're worrisome, and the thing that makes that group tough is I look at it and I don't have an easy best of 3 in there. You know, I think they're all extremely difficult, and it's going to be a really, really tough series. But that's fun. That's why I'm in the NASL. I want to be playing an amazing series once a week that I prepare for and hopefully do well in.
Tyler, how do you think Rhett's going to do? And do you agree of Jeff's assessment of him being greedy?
Oh yeah, he's greedy. He makes those drones.
I feel like,
sure.
Is he ever going to learn? Because I watched the game, like 2 days of him, and it was just, he lost because he droned too hard. I mean,
Well,
That's the only way he ever loses.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how to... I mean, I don't think it's just, like, something that he needs to fix. Like,
yeah.
Obviously that's the way he leans, so when he loses, it's, you know, because... You could probably say he wouldn't have lost if he made less drones, but it's not like he has all the information to know the exact number of drones to make.
Right.
So it's a little more complicated than that. He needs some situations he needs to play out differently, but you can't just look back and say, oh, you should have made roaches here. Because by default, the guy's making drones. It's like, oh, he had drones mining minerals. Like, yeah, that's what he does every game. Drones mine minerals. He also nonstop makes drones, so it's not really the cause of his problem. But I'd say Sen is the favorite for this group, and Rhett, without bias, is probably the favorite for second. But it's not going to be easy for him. Still, like, looking at all the matchups, I feel like he could take out all of these players. But it's not guaranteed, so he's going to have to work for it for sure. But Sen and Red, I think, are going to be the favorites here.
Tyler, Artosis, got any quick thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that, but there's just a couple people that are kind of extra interesting in this group for me. Sen, first off, obviously he's like a god, but he's now going to be playing in the Taiwanese League. And he did tell me that he was in school and stuff before and studying, and now he's taking the game more and more seriously, so his results should improve dramatically. But he's in a league where, I mean, the Taiwanese players are very good, but it's going to take them like a year at least to catch up to Sen. So is he going to have the motivation to really be practicing hard when his paychecks are based upon him winning all his TV matches, which he could probably do with any race? It's true. So I don't know. Like, is he super motivated? I hope so, and I think so. But it would be fun to watch. And then Inca, he's such a huge dark horse here because I forget who said it, but someone mentioned that he was like an innovator at Protos, and he has been. But I feel like he's one of these guys that his motivation, if he becomes motivated, it lasts for like a week or something. You know, it's if this is a guy that he's like a Tyler or a Skew or something. It's like, well, why don't you guys just fucking practice all the time and just be ownage? But I don't know. I hope that he does that. He could make a pretty big splash in the group, I think. But of course, Sen Ret are the favorites here.
Well, Tyler, Division 5, it's going to be your division. Taking a look real quick at the players. QXC, Hasuabs, Demaga, TLO, Moman, Tyler, TT1, and Puma. Puma wins the group. Who's second, Tyler?
Well, hopefully me. Demaga's really good.
Asuabs, TT1, it's tough.
Yeah.
Demaga's good recently too.
Yeah. I'm afraid of Demaga there, and well, yeah, I'd say Demaga is going to be my favorite for second, but it's not like an obvious one.
Is Puma the clear winner? Does he come out of that first, no matter what?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, I mean he could lose a best of 3, but he's still going to win the group for sure. Like no one else is going to go undefeated and take his number 1 spot, but I could see him losing a match, but he's the heavy favorite for first.
Artosis, QXC's been in Korea for months. I don't know how actual...
He's home now.
Oh, yeah, okay, so he's back home.
Yeah, and he has school, so even though he improved dramatically over here, he's back in school.
You think that's going to hurt him? Yeah,
of course, if you're not practicing in Korea. But, he did improve a lot over here, so maybe he can do something. This is a hard group to predict the second, and I think it's harder than just saying, Demaga, he's really good, because Hasuabs can definitely take him out, Tyler can definitely take him out. QXC has a shot at that, too. That guy's got snake blood, man. He does not die. I don't know. Second place is pretty hard, but I would say TLO, Moman, TT1 are all pretty hard to get into that spot, that second place spot.
Ben, you got any quick thoughts? And Jeff as well, feel free to jump in.
Not really. I do think Puma's the easy favourite. I think Hasuabs actually is going to come second. Even when he wasn't looked upon as like a good player, which he obviously is now, he always used to beat Demaga. Demaga's got some mental block against him of some sort, so and Hasuabs against everybody else in the group, I think he's got very good chances. He's a micro Protos. Protos is getting buffed in the next patch, which will certainly help him out. Blink gets nerfed a bit, which kind of goes against him, but apart from that, I think he's got very, very solid chances for second place. You got a few other people that can battle for second, but I see Hasuabs and Demaga as like second and third.
Jeff?
I sit right next to Puma all day long, and I've had a pretty fantastic opportunity to watch him play and watch him go about this. He's undoubtedly an amazing player, and I think the favorite in that group, but don't discount some of those guys, man. He will be playing from Korea. He will be playing at relatively poor hours. Even with the better connections from Korea to NA, there's still some issues there. And even if you take the latency out, some of those guys are good enough to take games, and like Tyler said, even best of 3s off of Puma. So it's kind of it's easy to look at that group and be like, one Korean, former champion, obviously he wins. I mean, that is where you'd put your money if you had to. But hear me out. Hasuab's an extremely strong player. Demaga has beaten STN TV. It's not like he's afraid of competition. He rises to the occasion. And a lot of people would be very quick to even discount my boy Tyler, but Tyler's no stranger to beating extremely good players in extremely important matches. Choya comes to mind, but also throughout his entire career he's done that a few times. So it's one of the cool things about reflecting on all these groups is I think there's pretty competitive groups 1 through 5, and it's nice to see in Season 2 that it's moving in the direction of it feels really close. It feels like it could be anybody's game, and that's kind of cool.
Well, guys, Season 2 is going to be kicking off on the 14th, this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Vive vs. Chef, Hero vs. Cruncher, White Raw vs. Phoenix, and DeMusliM versus Lowly. That will be over, I think, at NASL.tv. You can go figure out where to watch the stream when it goes live. We're going to take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we'll be talking about Hack Valencia, the GSL semifinals, of course, the upcoming finals. Then we're going to be taking community questions for the rest of the show. Probably going to be going on for another hour 30, something like that. But we'll see you guys on the other side of the break with some more StarCraft 2 talk. Alright guys, welcome back. Going to be switching gears a little bit, talking about Hack Valencia. They have actually announced the rest, or all of their players. It's going to be Lucifron, Rain, Hero, Thorzane, Dongragu, Idra, Naniwal, and Huck. Have they released brackets yet?
Can you link to that list? I can't remember all those.
Yeah, I got them. So I'm trying to see if they actually have brackets. I don't think they do just yet. Should be coming here pretty soon. But just real quick, thoughts on that tournament. I feel like it...
Wait, why is Lucifron in this tournament?
Yeah,
what
that's what I was just thinking. I didn't know that until just now.
Yeah, this is on Team Liquid. That's what I was just about to ask. Lucifron...
Oh, I know why. It's because it's in Spain.
Oh.
He's also top
guys.
5 EU ladder.
He's doing pretty good on the EU ladder, yeah.
Is he still one base all-inning every single game?
No, he's like legitimately pretty good. Like
he's supposed to be pretty awesome, yeah.
Yeah, he beat Show or something recently.
Does he make command centers, though?
Let me explain it to you.
That's
Dan,
what I'm
he micros his Marines and Marauders. So,
Oh.
yeah, he's like top 5 EU.
No, seriously, though, does he make command centers now? Because during the beta, everyone's like, oh, Lucifron. It's like, no, he's all-inning every game, guys. I don't know.
Well,
I do know, actually.
Yeah, I mean, when Terran's discovered you could just save money and make more command centers instead of depots, it's changed things. He's doing well.
But does anyone have any word on his style? Because, I mean, I'd love to see him actually playing, like, not bit-by-bit style.
He's very good with bio and medevacs. Like I haven't.
Oh, that little dog is so cute. Oh my god, look at that.
It's passed out.
It's so cute, man.
It's dead. Idra's cat poisoned it, man.
But anyways, what were you saying? Does he actually play real games now?
Yeah, he's like really good at dropping. Like he'll drop everywhere on the map. He's always had very good multitasking, and he's like very solid with bio and just adding in some tanks to his play. So he doesn't play just like every Terran, just going like either pure bio or pure mech. He's very good at like bio mech and dropping everywhere at the same time. So pretty
Cool.
tough style to go against. I don't know how he's playing recently, but that's how he did play a few months back. Solid player, and I'm actually looking forward to how he plays, because back when he did play in the beta, he was like a top 3 Terran for sure. Like he was owning everyone.
Jeff, we forgot. We gotta say beta because Ben's on the show.
I refuse that one. I can't. But between him saying that and Greg saying Meta, what do you... Greg, Metalopolis. Say Metalopolis. Say Meta, or whatever does he say? No, he's
Meta.
refusing.
Like-
He says
He's
Meta.
practicing.
Meta. Meta. You say Meta, don't you? He's got the music back on. Damn it!
Yeah. He's in concentrate mode.
Oh, right, he's giving a lesson. Oh, shit. Sorry. Okay, well...
Well, I can't wait to see actually how this guy does, man. I
He's
mean,
the
if
pride
he's
of Spain. What happened to them, by the way? Because they go from Brood War, where they had, like... I mean, as Hobbs would tell you, an outstanding community. Fantastic players.
Well, the thing is, the players were too handsome, man. It's like
They were
they're all
handsome
underwear models
men.
now.
They were
It's
handsome.
like not even a joke. Suker, are you kidding me? That was the handsomest man put on this earth ever. And he was a damn good Terran and Protoss as well.
Well,
Super PG. But they had a lot of good Brood War players, and they're gone, man. It's like down to Lucifron. That's the only guy you hear about.
Hmm.
now what about also what is up with the picture they chose for Greg?
I know, I was just looking
I'm actually gonna put this
It's-
into the stream real quick because what in the world is that? How old is that picture?
Must be pretty old. Actually, that's from when he lost to Huck doing hallucination, right?
Is it? He looks so different.
So baby-faced and like powdery.
What in the?
Powdery.
Well, you know, it looks really
his
shocked.
right eye is like bugging me in this. I don't know. I feel like it was photoshopped on there.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Greg
Like,
catches so much shit. We're going to sit here and stare at a picture of him and just...
I'm just
Yeah.
amazed because that's just like such an old picture, man. He looks so different now.
It's just that his hair's long. That's all you guys are blabbering about. He's got short...
the facial hair, man, it's pretty
Yeah, I
distinctive.
think it's pretty much
okay,
the
facial hair as well.
The EG beard.
Yeah. Well, anyways, let's go back and actually talk about the stupid tournament instead of how Spaniards are going to be under.
Oh my god,
and...
MLGJP just called Hack Valencia stupid. I'm tweeting it
Oh,
now.
well,
Oh my god!
I'd actually fight that. And if I could camera zoom in, I would say it is in camera zoom in, but I can't, so missed that joke. Thank you, Tyler, for wearing
It's
the esports
esports.
glasses. Let's talk about the rest of the players. How do you guys think a player like Thorzane is going to do? I think he's leaving Korea here pretty soon. Is that right, Dan?
Thorzane leaves in like a day or two, yeah.
How do
He
you
flies out 2 days.
How do you think his practice in Korea is really going to do coming into this tournament where there's actually going to be a lot of Koreans? Well, two
He's
Koreans.
so fucking good. He's so good. He's going to do quite well. And he's going to be on the right time zone, so... Because this is obviously in Europe. And he's going to be back there for a while. He's not going to be jet-lagged at all during the tournament, which will help.
Yeah.
He'll do awesome, man.
This is
for sure.
Thorzane.
This is actually like a kick-ass tournament. I keep looking at these players. I'm like really excited.
DreamHack always does a great job.
Now, what about a player like Naniwal, who's been also over in Korea for quite some time? Artosis, I know you've actually talked with him quite a bit. Or at
Yes.
least at MLG, we're talking quite a bit. I don't know how much in Korea.
This now I don't know exactly what his tournament schedule is right before this. If he's flying from Korea to there and he doesn't feel too jet lagged and like he hasn't been on the road, and I don't think he has any events right before this. He might just take this tournament down because I think he's gonna break out in like a month to 2 months. Like he's broken down his style. He's building up. He's really going to improve like insanely, and he's just gonna like slap down a tournament pretty soon. I think so. This might be it for him.
Who?
Naniwal.
You gonna pick him over Dongragu?
Well, I'm not sure if it's his time quite yet, but eventually, yes.
Now we see Huck. If you're on the DreamHack website, you can see him with the Team Liquid jersey. Of course, that is definitely an old picture. But Jeff, how do you think Huck's going to do? I mean, he's actually been traveling, like Artosis said, living on an airplane. Is this going to be more of the same?
Well, the nice thing about this tournament, which we're coming up on, actually, they all leave in a few
This is
like
going
a
down.
little less than a week, but
It goes down on the 15th.
Oh wait, is this
yeah.
only a week away? I thought this was
Yeah.
in
It's on
October.
Saturday, September, or 17th of September.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's
I
not-
don't think Nano is quite ready yet, but okay, go ahead. I just want to retract that. No, I thought it was a few weeks from now.
Hey Jeff, do you want to talk?
who cares?
Stop.
God damn.
This is the Artosis show. Shut up,
It's the Artosis trying to figure out when everything happens show. Like,
dude. I don't know, man. There's so much
I
going on.
forgot that it was 2 weeks from now. I do
Turns
believe
into
it.
Deckard King or some shit. What the
Yeah.
hell?
That's the impression I got, man. Huck is going to be well rested before this. He's got a few events. Obviously, GSL is actually always going on, but he'll be fine. And it's not the same as that marathon ridiculous shit that he was doing before.
Yeah.
Which is because we'd be like, that was dumb. And he's like, I know. What am I doing? We're like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. What am I doing? And we just kept doing that for like 5 minutes. So hopefully that'll stop.
And what about a player like Hero, Tyler?
What about him?
How's he going to do in this tournament, man?
What you want
That's
to
obviously
know?
what I mean. What do you think I mean, man? How's he going to do in the tournament, Tyler?
How's he gonna do, man? He's I'll John Madden this, man. He's gonna get in there. He's gonna pick Protos, man. He's gonna play some matches. He's gonna try to win those matches, and if he plays well, he's gonna win some matches.
All right, I'll talk
That's
about
pretty sick.
Hero.
Hey, Jeff, you want to talk about Hero?
I think Hero, like, he kind of breaks my heart because I actually think he's the next Protoss Hope out of Korea. Like, he is freaking smart, strong mechanics, young guy. He looks like a Jadon clone, and he just busts out some good-looking stuff. But he always, like, I watch his stream religiously. Like, he is the guy I pull inspiration from right now in terms of Protoss play, and I don't know. I think he kind of suffers from, and this. I mean, he does almost too many different things. To be honest with you, like
I heard I thought
sometimes
the
he
EG
hits a wall.
TL rivalry was going away because Jeff was talking Hero up, but now he's talking critical Hero.
Oh,
Go on, Jeff. Man.
and I think he does too many strategies, which is like it sounds weird because in my opinion that's the best way to play the game. But I think sometimes he runs into a wall, and I see the guy get stomped, but then I see him stomp the best. You know, he practices with Puma all the time. I actually just get to watch Hero play through Puma's screen on a regular basis.
Well, he seems like he freestyles a little bit too much. I think if you have a lot of strategies that are super refined and very like mapped out and kind of like flowchart-esque, the way that you deal with things that happen, then it can be really sick. And but if you freestyle, I mean, you can do that a lot in ladder, and you can do it to a certain extent in tournaments. But to really, really get to that next level, you have to refine these builds immensely for tournament play. And if he could do that, that's the sense that I get anyway.
I agree. I mean, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just better put.
Yeah.
The freestyle part is really important because that really affects.
It's kind of like, I'll build a warp prism and do some stuff with it, and I have blink stalkers. Let's see what I can do with those, and and then like what timing can I hit this game? And it's always something different every single game, and he's doing all these things, and it's awesome. But just to get one level higher, it's like, okay, now perfectly plan all that stuff in advance, and now you're the best in the world.
Ben, who's going to take the tournament in your eyes?
I'd say Dongrigu, but I won't count any of the Protosses out. Reason being, Dongrigu's weakest matchup is Protoss, I believe. Hero only lost to him 3-4 at MLG. Nanoa's practicing in Korea right now, so he's obviously going to get good. He's like one of the best foreigners for sure, so that little edge could probably tip him out somewhere. Huck, he's always very good, so I see Dongrigu or a close fight with the Protosses. Again, I don't know when the patch is coming out, so that could mess things up totally. But yeah, those four are my top four.
We didn't mention Rain at all. Is he a non-factor in this tournament?
Yeah,
or?
I think he is actually.
Well, like as far as Korean Terrans go, like the foreign players that can beat Terran are Protosses, and the race that you want to play, if they are a Korean, is Terran. So I feel that matchup, like if you're a foreign Protoss that's very good, or even a Korean Protoss, you can do well against any Terran. And Jeff's looking really weird, but I feel in foreigners in general, like Kiwi Kaki against Nada, for example, like just matchups like that. Even though that's only one example, I think it's happened a few times where pretty good Protosses will beat very good Terrans. There's just little things that can like really decide the matchup. It goes vice versa too, but I just feel Protosses have. They might also, with the patch, it'll have a little edge, I think, over Terrans.
I don't know if I agree with the generality that Korean Terrans have to fear foreign Protosses more than the others, but I would certainly say Rain would be my pick to go to this tournament as a Korean and not place in the top. Like, you would still, if you had to bet money on these people, you would still give Rain that edge. He's done great at MLG. He's constantly, he's putting up results. I don't know if you guys watch the IPL Team League, but the last 2 times Fnatic has played, their entire team's gotten destroyed. They put out Rain, and then he all kills the other team. He's still top caliber, big time winner, but I could see him losing to a Naniwa. I could see him losing to a Huck, and this tournament's stacked with players like that. There's no soft 2 or 3 rounds. Everyone's a great player, so I could see it happening.
Tyler, who's going to take the tournament? And same.
Got to be a fanboy here and say, I'm going to say Hero. He's so handsome, man. He's very handsome. That's number 1 quality.
Artos, you said Naniwal was going to take it. Do you want to take it?
No. I can't say that quite yet. I thought this was in October. I don't know. This is a really hard one to predict. I definitely think Rain won't take it and Lucifron won't take it. And sadly, I feel like Hydra won't take it, even though I want him to so badly.
He's got headphones on. He can't hear you.
But,
if we could see a
I
bracket...
can't hear you now.
yeah, if I saw a bracket, I could give you...
Yeah, they haven't released a bracket,
so...
Come on, Dan.
I'll predict it next week. No, I'm not going to just throw my name on right the second. No, man. I always get it right, and that's because I tell you when I know. And I don't know right this second who's going to win. DRG looks like a pretty decent choice at this moment. But I don't know.
Tyler,
I'll just say this. I would like it... No. I believe we will have 1 or 2 appearances in the top 4 from a foreigner. I don't think this will be one of those Korean tournaments that are dominated.
Yeah.
I think foreigners are going to do really well. I do have that prediction.
I feel like Thorzane for sure is going to top 4 this. I don't know. I just look at that picture, I'm like, oh yeah, you're top 4.
I can't wait. Everyone's so freaking good, and a lot of people are flying in from Korea to go to their home continent. That's awesome.
That is true. Well, I'm trying to figure out when that's going to start. Since it is a European tournament, I guess I don't actually have to say that. I think I said September 16th. That's when it's going to start next Saturday. So go over and Google DreamHack Valencia for more information about that. Let's talk about the GSL Artosis. Round of 4 happened the other night. MVP versus July. Game 2. What do you know about Ghost, Dan?
Oh, they're pretty good, but he actually made it look imbalanced in that game. But I'm not ready to say that it is at all.
We're not going to get that show next week?
Nah.
We had to get in that imbalance pun.
Of course. He made it look imbalanced, but actually MVP played July really, really well. He basically played the perfect game against July on that map. And one of the most, obviously the ghosts and the sitting there and just wearing July out, because that's the way July is. He will not stop attacking you, and he'll get it in his head where he wants to kill you and keep attacking there. So there are things July could have done different, obviously, but it feels like, there was 2 points of the game that I really want to mention. Is obviously as I said, the ghost, but then earlier on when July Zerg turned it on, he was like, okay, it's time to kill you, and he made he maxed out on Banelings and then some mutas and some lings.
Attack at the natural.
Yeah, and MVP was macroing perfectly and had a nice spread and a ton of siege tanks and amazing micro, and he barely survived that. July Zerg was so frightening. I feel like he would have taken that match against any other Terran. I cannot believe that he held that, and I cannot believe July Zerg did such a good job with that attack. It was actually insane. And then of course, he just spent all that money and MVP's still sitting on 3 bases fine. So from there, it was going to be hard anyways. But Zerg was like in insane shape, but MVP is like he wants his 3rd championship. I guess it's time. Yeah.
Were the other? It was, I guess, well, there was 4 games. It was 3-1, right? Because he lost the Banling All in the next map. Were the other matches, I guess, as balanced as game 2, so to speak, or was MVP just kind of on? I mean, they all seemed like really one-sided in most of the other games. The first game was like a weird rush with Marines.
Yeah,
game 3 was
the double proxy racks was just it was a smart move. It's just him. MVP has like insanely good build orders. He uses them at the right time. So he just kind of outplayed Zerg overall. But that game on Metalopolis is like so completely worth watching. What an amazing game that was.
Now, Ben, you're here as a Terran or a representative of Terran. When are you guys going to start using Ghost, and what are your thoughts on that type of play? I don't know if you've actually seen the game or not, but...
I haven't seen the game you're on about, but ever since I've been in America, Greg's been forcing it down my throat that I should use Ghost. So I've done nothing but in pretty much every matchup. I think they're insanely good. The fact that they weren't mentioned in the patch notes for getting a nerf, I'm incredibly happy about, since TVZ late game, it's looking pretty messy. I must admit, there's some moments where even I think to myself, like, wow, what's this doing in the game? But yeah, in general, Ghost's really good.
Because I'm excited because it looks imbalanced, but
I'm really happy they haven't done anything about it. So
you're an honest guy, man.
Well, you know, I have to be.
What about, I mean, Jeff and Tyler, from a Protoss point of view, what are your thoughts on Ghost?
Well, I mean, first of all, with GSL, I watched every round that the Protoss played in, and the joke being there's no Protoss. Ghosts are tough, man. I can't wait to talk about it because I'm waiting for the chat to go, feedback, and it's hilarious. But late game TVP, Korean Protosses for a long time have been saying that if you don't kill a Terran in the first 20 minutes, just get out of the game. And it's a big part of the reason why they talk about that is because of the Ghost. They make 7 or 8 of them, and if it only takes 2 of them to get in there and double EMP everything, and your entire army has no shields and no mana, so your late game area of effect like Psionic Storm and Sentry use is gone. And that's why you're seeing a lot of Protoss just get plowed over. And again, hopefully people aren't hearing me saying that I'm bitching about this. It's not in the patch notes, so just got to keep plugging along. What I've been doing is making a shit ton of Colossus. Like, not even just 3 or 4 of them, but like 6 or 7. And just fucking laser beaming people in the head, man. It's pretty good.
Tyler, you got any thoughts on Ghost?
They're so... Oh, man. Why do they have so much health and, like, no... They don't take any... They're not light or anything. Like... They're so hard to kill, man. Especially with medevacs around. Like, I would like to be able to snipe them a little bit easier with stalkers, maybe. Something more involved than just, like, if you get a feedback, okay, the Ghost does nothing. If you don't get a feedback, okay, you just lost the game. Because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot more. Even with, like, Colossi trying to snipe Ghosts, it's like, okay, you get your first volley off, they get 5 EMPs off, and, if then they probably win, unless you just have a ton of Colossus and they don't have enough anti-air to Vikings to bring your Colossus down. So I don't know if a lesser health tweak would be nice, but I don't feel like it's an imbalanced state yet. So I actually wouldn't want any change to happen for a TVP. TVZ, again, I'm ignorant of that, so I won't comment on the whole snipe and kill ultras instantly thing. But TVP, I'm happy with TVP right now. It's definitely gotten harder, but I'm not saying imbalanced yet.
Dan, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, well... Yeah, TVP, I don't know yet. In TVZ, I feel like Snipe might be a little bit too long of a range, because it's so messy for Zerg to deal with that. Like, at one point MVP had 21 ghosts against July. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
He made 21 ghosts?
Yeah, that game was
Yeah,
insane, man.
Holy
he got up to
shit.
21 of them, and he was like literally, he maxed on Ultra Broodlord,
then he
and
just died in,
everything
like,
got
a second.
sniped.
Yeah, it was.
And it's like, the thing is, the ghosts can like snipe at the same range as a Broodlord shoots or so. So it's like, there's no danger. You just kind of snipe them, and that's it. Like you don't have to walk in the open at all. Like the infestor actually just can't fungal them, and it's pretty difficult. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how it evolves more because I don't feel like July could not have won that game. So I don't want to say imbalance, but it's scary as shit.
Well, I think we're going to actually move on. We will get some more balance questions, but I'm going to actually rely on the users to submit those and utilize the fact that we do have a Terran on the show.
Winner of GSL.
Yeah, that's the next thing.
Dan.
Winner of GSL, Dan. The prophet of StarCraft 2.
Oh, MVP.
Yeah,
What a lame prediction.
yeah.
I think I said that like forever ago, man. Pretty sure.
You took the wild guess that it was the guy that's won the last two.
Is it?
Well, man, I
Playing
mean,
Terran?
MVP is looking pretty insane. You know, Top looked really good, but he made so many bad decisions during it. I think he's not going to be able to make the same level of decision MVP is during the finals.
I always root for the underdog, and that's why I'm usually wrong when I predict. I just want a good series, man.
Yeah,
I
that's-
really want a good
I would
series.
love
I'm
to
gonna
have a good finals.
I'm going to
Wouldn't that be
stay
good?
up. I'm going to watch Dan. I'm going to watch Nick. I'm going to cheer him on. I'm going to be happy. But if those games suck, I'm going to be really sad because it's just another opportunity for like an amazing final that just doesn't happen. So hopefully they break the curse. Let's just say that. I just hope so.
I think it could be a good one. I think there's that possibility.
The
Dan-
TBT finals in particular, by the way, of the GSL's shitty finals, it has been the TBT finals in my opinion.
Trying to think back of what are all the finals that we've had. Have they all been TVZ? No, I guess MC was in there a couple
We've
times.
had like every finals.
Okay. I was trying to think of the
No
majority.
PvP finals, but everything else.
Yeah. Ben, who do you think is going to win?
It's got to be MVP. I'd say he's the best player in the
4-0?
world right now. Yeah, not 4-0. I think like maybe 4-1, 4-2. But yeah, I don't see anybody that can touch him right now. I mean, Nesty was looked upon as the best player in the world, and even though MVP was like build order wise very behind, because Nesty read him like a book, MVP still won like flawlessly. I don't see anybody that can touch him at the moment.
Tyler, I know you're going to say you're ignorant to TBT, but do you have a winner?
MVP. I mean, you don't even have to pay attention to the matchup to make this call. MVP.
All right. Well, Artosis, when are those going live? Do you happen to know? I know it's Friday,
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday my time. There's going to be some matches before it for everyone to tune into. So there's like a lot of StarCraft that day from GSL, like some special matches for the 1 year anniversary, and then
is that the All-Star match stuff?
yeah, something like that. That'll be casted by the Code A guys, Doa, Moletrap, and Wolf, and then at 6 p.m. KST, I believe, is when the final match will start with Tasteless and I.
I think that's 2 a.m. Central Time, 3 a.m. Eastern, but
The normal time for GSL, that's when the actual final match will be.
Oh, okay, so that's going to be 4 a.m. Central.
As far as I know, that's what I was told, but, you know.
Just go to gomtv.net. It'll tell you there. All right, so going to take one more break. When we come back, definitely going to be talking about the Reddit switch to self/text only real quick, 'cause we did get some questions about that. And then we'll be answering, what time is it? Probably about 30, 45 minutes of user questions, so send them into twitter.com/itmejp and ask us anything. We'll answer whatever you guys throw at us. So, be right back, guys, on the other side of this break. guys, welcome back. Time to do some user questions. Send it into twitter.com/itmejp. First question: do any of the pillars have tattoos besides Jeff? Tyler, do you have a tattoo?
No, I do not.
Ben, you're not a
No,
pillar, but do you have
no
a tattoo?
tattoo. No tattoo.
I don't think Sean has one. Artosis probably wouldn't have one. I don't think so. I don't have one. Jeff, how many tattoos do you actually have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to get my left arm filled out with a half sleeve pretty soon.
All right. Dan, you don't have any tattoos, correct?
No. If I did, though, they would be StarCraft related.
This guy. Oh, that was from Cryptide, by the way. Roy Awesome wants to know, DeMusliM, what are your opinions on the patch notes, the racks, time change, etc.? Just real quick.
I feel the racks timing, that only really changes TVZ. The 1111 isn't so strong anymore. Or when I say isn't so strong, it's still going to be like a really solid all-in. But yeah, it's going to help Zergs out a bit, so they don't really have to go to like 14 hatch, 14 pool, or just not going hatch first at all. So it might help out a little bit. The Blue Flame Hellion change, that only really sorts out TVT. It means Blue Flame Hellions still insanely good against Zerglings. Not so much against workers anymore, but if you have an upgrade, then they still two-shot workers, so that's not really a big deal either. But TVT, it's going to change a lot. No longer will we see like just Blue Flame Hellions raping everything. So that's the big thing. Besides that, the Immortal change might help a bit with PvT. They have like another push to throw at Terrans against Zerg. I don't know how that solves things or changes things, but yeah, it'll tweak a little bit and it'll take a bit of adjusting. But the main change for me is TvT. I think it's going to change dramatically.
Thanks to Roy Awesome for that question. Next one from G. Kanganis, I guess. Does Artosis love or love code? Is it Gias? How do you pronounce this, Artosis? Some anime, I guess. Geass. Do you have any idea?
Oh, I've never watched that one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, he hates it. I'm sorry. Question for
Yeah,
DeMusliM.
thanks.
In Control often has a lot of good things to say about DeMusliM. Does Ben have any kind words from Jeff? From Jeff C. Park.
Jeff's probably the guy in the house that helps me the most, so I have a lot of kind words to say about Jeff. Even like Jeff's got a lot of experience with StarCraft 2. Although we've all been playing it for the same amount of time, he's casted a lot too, so he'll see a lot of the Korean players from NASL or whatever doing things that I don't necessarily do, which it may be like just little things about where to drop specifically or where my rally point is. I know he's been like digging this into me recently, but I'll be in a game right after it. I'm very good at listening to people and asking for some critique, and Jeff's always saying like, okay, do this. And then the next game I'll do that, and if it works out, and it doesn't always work out, for example, like I ask for any kind of critique or any kind of idea that he thinks could help. So yeah, Jeff helps me the most, and my biggest practice partner's Machine. He's actually a practice machine, so.
We all know that.
Jeff, I'm going to throw this one to you from CJW132222.
Yeah.
You think Combat X is apologizing because he wants to make money off of his stream, being on Team Liquid, or is it because he has no friends?
Neither. I don't necessarily think Combat X is like some
Not the
super
Antichrist
evil, like sitting around like this is what I must do in order to get this. Like I just think he was. I mean, it comes a little bit following him getting. No, actually, it was Deezer that got nuked to all shit by Deezer. Never mind. I know he's been hanging out with Destiny more and hanging out on a stream and talking more and getting a little bit more involved. He's been making videos on YouTube that people actually like. Like, he does have legitimate fans, people that like his commentary. So I'm sure this is some kind of pseudo-honest thing from him where he wants to, you know, maybe go a little bit more mainstream. But the problem with him is, and people don't know this because they're all for the most part new to StarCraft 2 and into StarCraft, I guess, is that he's apologized many, many times. He constantly likes to just talk shit and go. He goes full retard a lot. And for those of us that have like had to deal with it, for getting stream sniped and stream cheated by him and called names, all the time from him and harassed, and he tells his fans to harass us too, getting just attacked by hundreds of people on our stream and stuff like that, then I don't care if he apologizes. He's been kind of a vandal. He's been a dick. Like, I kind of hope he goes to an event. I'd love to talk to him face to face.
Anyone else have any thoughts on the whole Combat X thing? Do you want to get on a pedestal and talk?
Don't really know the guy. I played him before. He just flames. Kind of new to the North American scene, and don't really like him. That's pretty much it.
Tyler and Artosis, I think you both shook your heads, so we'll just move on. From Flop Turn Reaver, what do you guys think of organizations like Map of the Month that tries to bring some unique original maps into the pro scene? Tyler, throwing this one at you.
Maps have always been tricky. I don't really know what I think a good way to get better maps is. It's an issue that I think we've talked about before on State of the Game, and I don't think we all ever agreed on this is what must be done. So, I mean, I think initiatives like that are nice, but I'm not going to play those maps. Like, you know, that's the problem. It's like hard to get the people that need to play the maps in order to figure out if they're good maps. They have no incentive to play the maps. So, I don't know. Anyone else have more insight? Go for it.
What maps?
Just things like the Map of the Month tournament, where they're just throwing in new maps that not top players have played on before, or aren't playing on in the tournament.
I mean, we've covered this a few times. So
yeah.
Kind of weird we're getting that question, but to be honest, like, it's the same thing as Tyler. Like, we're preparing for MLG, we're preparing for our team leagues. We're gonna play those maps. I hope they do well. I want them to go mainstream, but I can't help with that process because my time is hyper focused.
From getting a lot of questions, DeMusliM, from Dinah Beaties, I guess. Does the fact that Ben DeMusliM looks like the fourth Musketeer help or hinder your team's chances at the next MLG?
It can only help. Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that.
All right, another question. Do you think Roaches are a good option versus Hellions and Hellion openers?
Yeah, actually I do. About a month ago, TVZ is changing quite a bit. Like, Terran openings are still pretty much the same. It's just about, like, the Zergs dealing with it in their own individual ways. Roach openings in general, like, the first time I really played against it was Sen, like, at Alana a short while back, and yeah, I was really surprised with it. He went a lot of Roaches, no kind of lair tech. It's very kind of Korean style, and, like, 3 base. I think it's a pretty damn strong way of dealing with Hellion openings, actually.
From Sean252 for DeMusliM, is Warcraft 3... You guys will like this one. Is Warcraft 3 the reason Europe is ahead of North America in terms of depth of skill in the same way StarCraft 1 is why Korea is ahead of both? Artosis, your webcam's shady, so we couldn't actually see your face.
Well,
wait, can you repeat that question, please?
It was surprised and confused. So, what was the question
For
again?
DeMusliM, that's
just
obviously
a
not
blur.
important. Is
Yeah, I think I
Warcraft
might
3 the
answer this as
reason
well.
Europe... Is Warcraft 3 the reason Europe is ahead of North America in terms of depth of skill in the same way StarCraft 1 is why Korea is ahead of both?
Not really sure about that one. Like, the Warcraft 3 scene in general, it was Korean. Like, the main thing was Korean, then China, then Europe. Like, Europe had a pretty strong contingent of players, and America was just like, there was no Americans really that played Warcraft 3 on a good level. Or when I say a good level, there's like 1 or 2 like Nilk North and Short Ram back in 2005. But maybe like we've spawned a few players from different backgrounds. Like, I know StarCraft 1 or StarCraft Brood War, America had a pretty large scene, Europe pretty large. This is when I talk about the foreign scene only.
Like, all our other good players just really aren't playing, you know? I don't know. I hate that question, though. Like, it actually hurts my soul. There's so much, like, U.S. talent from StarCraft and stuff like that. And
Well, we'll move on. It looks like we are having some stream issues. I'll try to sort that out. We might already be back, though. Let me know, chat. Anyways,
why am I so fuzzy?
I don't know, man. It must be something since you're in Korea or something like that.
You're like one of those criminals where we don't want to see your face kind of thing.
It's very, very true. From Hybara DC29 to In Control, Artosis, and Tyler, why have we not seen any Protoss use a 4th Century Warp Prism drop against all races early game? I think he's referring to the Warp Prism 4th Century drop where he force filled like both sides of the mineral line and the SCVs, whatever, can't get out. Any thoughts?
It's a gimmick.
Well, yeah, I don't really see it being that good, man. Yeah, I mean, they're going to see it coming and move their workers. If you're going to do something like that, like I've seen, for instance, on Hero's stream, he'll drop sentries in your base, but it's to force field your ramp so your Marine Marauders can't come up, and then he harasses your barracks for a little bit and then leaves, and stuff like that's good, but the actual sentry drop, I don't know, man. That's... I mean, it looked cool in the video, but I don't know if that's a true application, like something that can be done.
Jeff, Tyler, anything?
I like that people are experimenting with this stuff. I mean, it is a gimmick, and it's cool that people are doing it, but I don't think people need to start going around saying, like, this is the second coming of Protoss Jesus builds, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to execute when you think you can. It's a cool thing to have under your belt. I really like the Blink Stalker 4th Century freeze the ramp against Zerg. I think that's pretty cool. But you're not going to see me do it every single game I play, because I don't think StarCraft should be played that way, so it's cool, man. I don't know. What do you think about Immortals? They're cool.
Next question from Have You Met Ryan? DeMusliM, he wants to know why you don't drink SoCo anymore. What? Is this an inside joke?
Oh,
It's from earlier in the show.
yeah. I just.
Oh. Well, it must have been
I
an inside
think-
joke on the show. That
I
just
think
didn't-
everybody just has like an alcohol like experience where it just goes terribly wrong, and SoCo was mine, and
Oh, I understand.
yeah,
now.
it just wasn't very
Sorry.
pleasant.
I'm a little slow tonight. I understand he's talking about Southern Comfort. I get it. Let's move on. How does EG and Puma communicate, Jeff? And does Anna make every meal in the EG lair sandwiches? Shouldn't have read that part. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll just ignore that, I guess. But, Puma.
He's playing, streaming.
I know. These are easy? Easy peasy?
Say
You
easy peasy, man. Okay, he's just smiling.
He's
Very-
actually effing adorable. I've been streaming some 2vs2s with him, and he's learning a lot of English. Like, I haven't actually had a chance to live with, like, an exchange student or spend time abroad or anything like that. For the most part, I mean, I've been in foreign countries, obviously, but he's been living with us for a week now, and like he's picking it up. He's joking around. One of my favorite stories so far is that he thought Ben was sleeping on a sleeping bag or on one of the monster bags, so he walked over to kick him in the head, and it turned out it was Bryce. And the look of like shock and like, oh, sorry, like, oh my God, sorry. Like he was so upset and distressed that he almost kicked Bryce in the head. But then later Ben was like, wait, so you were only going to kick me in the head? Like, that's okay. So Puma's goofing around. He's having a good time. He doesn't speak a lot of English, but he understands, I feel like, most. And it's growing on him a lot. Like, we just talk at him now, kind of at a regular basis, and he knows what we're saying.
From I'm_Roma_ question for DeMusliM. Ben, are you planning on going to Korea anytime soon?
I'd love to. It's not one of the places where I'd like to stay for like a long period of time like Huck, but sure, for a few months training there, I'd love to. Before I didn't think about it too much because I didn't think I was good enough, but recently I think I'm getting in really good shape. With my injury, I built up motivation, like a lot of motivation. If you think about like a wine bottle or a champagne bottle, like building up and ready to like blow, that was like me, and that's... Sorry, Jeff, that was a bit bad. That was like a Strife Proism. But yeah, I just... So much got built up, and I really missed the game, and right now I'm practicing for like such long periods of time and taking all I can to get better. So if that means going to Korea, which I think it does, I'd love to go.
Artosis John of the Dead wants to know that now that Lenok is back in Kodas, does he have a legit shot to make the finals?
I don't think he'll make the finals right away. I mean, he's very talented and very young and works really hard. So eventually, sure, but I don't think he's like quite a Lucera, where Lucera just kind of like exploded and got right up there. I think, you know, he's very good. And one day, will we see him next season get there? I don't think so.
From Shaka Slim, DeMusliM, do you think Sky Terran will be the new norm in TBT in the late game?
No, actually. Like, even though the Reaper, or was it the Heatseeker missile thing changed,
Yeah.
I think it's so energy heavy that you can't really get to a stage in the game where you can use that like fungal growth, for example. You can't just like whip it out and then own everybody. I think Marine Tank's going to be a big one again. I even think just pure bio is going to be a big one too. Blue Flame Hellions, the main reason for that is Red Flame Hellions are almost as good as Blue Flame Hellions now in those little battles. So Reactor Hellion's going to be actually better than Blue Flame Hellion for the first 8 minutes of the game. Also, Marines without combat shield will be able to survive 3 hits from Blue Flame Hellions, which that's a big deal. That's why I used to get rush for combat shield before. Expos are going to become more viable early on because you don't need the fast combat shield. So I think the whole matchup is going to change, but I don't think it's going to change so drastically that it's just going to be Sky Terrans. Sky Terran's still really good late game, but you need to have a solid base getting there, and that's tanks.
And I'll say this too. I want to add some to that. Yeah. I think you'll see more of it. I don't think it'll replace any of the styles, and that's because there's been such a mech influence that air control is really, really important for spotting and controlling a lot of the supplemental styles which are going on right now. Like Blue Flame Hellion drops are still really common to just kind of continuously do. But in that arms race of getting air control, both players kind of realizing once they do get air control, they make one Banshee and the other guy has tanks and Blue Flame Hellion. It completely compromises a lot of those pushes. But now we're seeing more Thors too and stuff, so it's kind of fun. TVT is a matchup that constantly changes, and there's all kinds of different meta games going on. Whereas Zerg versus Zerg, there's 2, and then in Protoss versus Protoss, there's one meta game, and then there's a branch of things that you do after you survive the 4-gate.
Jeff, a question for you from Pace now. What has held you back from being more successful in the game thus far?
It's head stuff for me recently. I went through a really rough patch where I just didn't have my head on straight at all, and there's a lot of I've been talking about this with a lot of people because obviously this is so different from Brood War. There's so much expectation, there's so much infrastructure, there's so much pressure on us to do well. I lost in the first round of TSL 2, was that the last Brood War 1? 2? No, 3.
No, 2.
It was
2. No, 2.
It was 2. I lost. They did a different kind of system, and I lost a close series to Shaman after defeating a really good Zerg before that. So I felt really good about that performance because Shaman actually went on to do fairly well against Mondragon, who then went on to face Tyler in the finals. So I had a really competitive bracket. I played some really good players. I qualified for something that a lot of the top foreigners didn't. But I lost in the very first round of it. But it was different because I was able to be happy with that performance because in our small community, you weren't expected to win tournaments. You weren't expected to take things down to be a good player. In StarCraft 2, there's a different expectation. If you're not winning tournaments, if you're not placing really highly and defeating people on a regular basis, there's all kinds of questions raised and pressures put on you and criticism, and I'm on shows, I'm very vocal, so I have to answer to all of them. So it's a stressful, tough place to be, but I'm learning how to manage that. So when someone asks me what do I need to do in order to get into that winning place that I've been before and start doing better, it's manage my head game. I definitely have the ability to beat these players. I have, and I will again in the future, but I won't until I start to figure out how to block out all the voices in my head, so to speak, and start to just play the game the way I know how to, and then to work on improving on that.
Dan, Doom Tickle says, could you elaborate on the reason why you switched to Protoss and the biggest challenge that came with it? Is there any regrets as well?
Well, the biggest challenge in switching a race is figuring out all the little tiny things. The overarching strategies you can figure out relatively quick, but it's all these tiny things that thousands of games teach you. Exactly what army composition do I make out of my first gateway against a Terran that I scout this many barracks or this many add-ons with, and you lose 1,000 games doing that before you figure out every little nuance. But I switched over. I didn't have a lot of time to practice at the time. I felt Zerg really required a ton of practice. This is way back when Protoss was actually doing really, really well. Not necessarily winning every tournament, but it was kind of like lower APM, and it seemed like you didn't need as much practice. So that, as well as I wanted to improve my commentating. TBT I understand very well from StarCraft 1 because it's very similar, especially with Siege Shanks coming back. And then the Zerg matchups I got really well, but PBT was pretty hard for me to do correctly. PvP wasn't as hard, but I mean, it helps to play more than one race well to commentate better. So I guess those are the reasons.
It's great for your commentating, but I'll tell you what, man, having played with you in Korea, you're still a Zerg in my heart. Your Zerg was actually awesome. You were a good Zerg.
Thank you. I didn't have enough time anymore, but I'm glad I switched just to. I feel like my commentary since I've switched has gotten so much better because I get all the matchups like at a deep level at this point. So.
And I'll say this for the Artosis fanboys real quick. For the commentating, you played Zerg, playing some Protoss. What are we missing out on here? When's it coming, buddy?
I've been thinking about Terran, man. The more I see Marauders not used, the more it makes me want to use Terran. It's true.
It's true.
I hate that unit, man.
He's been using that
so
Jeff
garbage.
the entire time, too. Andrew Baby Mule has a question for all of us. What have been the biggest hurdles to overcome being pros or commentators? We'll just go down the line. Jeff?
Biggest hurdles?
Yeah, to overcome.
You know, I feel like I could almost cross-apply the spiel I just gave. Like, it's a different day and age. I mean, you hear Tyler and I on two sides of the fence with the signing autographs at MLGs. Like, there is so much public accountability and attention and interest right now, which is awesome. I would never try to give any of that away. I think it's amazing for the community, but it's actually difficult because I'm in this house that my team's paying for. I'm being flown to tournaments that are expensive, and I'm representing a chest full of sponsorships. You know, so if I get emotional and throw a headset, people have to, you have to answer for that. If I'm wearing glasses, people want to know all the details about them, so I need to learn the details about them so that I can talk about it. Like, this is a full-time, 24/7 job, and it gets exhausting. But the challenge of it, the difficult part, is that sometimes people forget that and don't take into account that they need to go do something. They need to go read a book. They need to take a day or two off and go outside. Like, if you don't do that, you will burn out, and you'll become a lesser version of yourself in performance, in character, and in any shape, way, or form. And when that happens, you start hurting, and then everything starts spiraling downward. So it's actually a tough tightrope to walk, but I think we'll hear the other answers, but we're all kind of going down the line working on that.
Tyler?
As far as like personally, not external factors, I'd say self-discipline is the biggest hurdle for me. And that's one of the big advantages of being in a team house, and that's why I've always said team houses are great if they're done right, because just being able to practice day in, day out really productively and with a positive attitude, that's the biggest thing, man. Like, you don't even have to be that talented. If you kind of just understand the game on some sort of level, and you have that discipline, and you surround yourself with good people, then you're going to be successful. And so that can't be underestimated. So I'd say self-discipline could be a huge hurdle. And yeah, kind of what Jeff touched on a little bit. There's a lot of different shit going on to being a pro gamer than playing games, That's not all it is. Like, I mean, maybe 20 or 30 years from now, some of these things will be handled by, managers taking 15%, agents taking 15%, publicists, you pay publicists to do this and that, and then you can focus more on your own shit. But even people on pro teams like EG or Liquid, where we have managers and we have people looking out for us, you have to do a lot of stuff yourself. I mean, you have to know how to act. You have to know what's good for yourself outside the game, and that's just like a weird thing that you don't really expect going into it. I think when you want to be a pro gamer, you're like, okay, I want to win championships. I want to be the best at this game. That's what I want to do. And then you get into it as a career, and you find there's other things, and that can be a pretty big hurdle too.
Artosis?
I don't know. As far as hurdles to become a commentator, I I guess those are like hurdles I kind of bypassed, being like a StarCraft 1 pro and everything. I just kind of like got into commentary and everyone liked me right away. But I guess, it is a really, I'm serious. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like trying to be a dick about it, but like I haven't had to go through a lot of hurdles. I love the game and I talk about it.
You're being a little humble, dude. You're like, I hope that documentary that you and Nick are doing or whatever, or something, I hope the story gets told someday, or you get out there and tell it. But you went through some shit to become a commentator in Brood War. Yeah. So you going through hurdles is baloney as far as I'm concerned. If you ride that wave for 15, 20 more years, I'm fine with it. Because if Arto's not going to say it, I'll say it right now. He slept in stinky, sweaty rooms. He slept on floors. He like begged, borrowed. He didn't make money. Like, you fought for that position and you earned everything you got, man.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm got the cushy life now. I guess I get to eat food every day, and I can pay for my subway fare. So I guess I forget. But I mean, I had to do what Jet just said, and I had a very unsupportive family about it all, and there's a lot of flamers on the internet I have to read, and I have to make sure I know all the strategies and I understand the game. I gotta like talk to people all the time and play all the time, and I listen to a lot of my casts. I'm really self-critical about it. Really trying to improve, the way that I speak in front of a camera and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess there's a lot then.
Ben, what about you?
Hurdles with gaming was the question.
Yeah. What's the what have you had to overcome as being a pro gamer?
Well, I started playing professionally when I was about 15, and around the age of 15 to 20, I was owed a lot of money. Like, that was a big thing in gaming that is just ridiculous. If I was actually having to survive on rent and stuff. Luckily I was living with my parents at the time, but I'm owed somewhere around 10,000 euros just from that little stint, from teams just not paying up or whatever. So that's a really big thing you have to go through, just money isn't coming in when it's promised to you, contracts meaning nothing. Luckily all that's becoming a lot better and you hear so little about it, but at that time, I was really, really broken about it. I used to quit Warcraft 3 completely because if I was missing $3,000 somewhere, that'd be enough to just make me go fine, I'm just going to stop. And I was very young at the time too. That was a big hurdle. Playing wise, hitting the top, and then if you have a bad time, be it a week or a few, that seems to get accentuated by everybody telling you that you're terrible. I think every player knows what that feels like. If you do read forums and stuff, if you are having a bad time, sometimes it really doesn't help you at all reading about yourself. It can just send you into a further slump. Sometimes it could spur you on to prove them all wrong, which is good. So just becoming in the public eye all of a sudden, and then getting you pick up a lot of guys that will respect you, but you also pick up a lot of haters, which I wasn't familiar with at all. So when I was 15, I took that to heart a lot of the time. Now I've become a lot more thick-skinned about it, but still it does hurt now and then. And outside the game, just appreciating what I'm actually doing for a living. I could have a day where I'd feel down, and I didn't really know why I'd feel down. And then I kind of realized wow, I'm actually playing video games for a living. So just things like that, just things I take for granted a lot of the time. If I spoke to anybody, they'd probably envy the position I'm in now. I can live wherever I want as long as it's feasible, get paid for this, having a really good time. My job is actually playing a video game all the time, and I get down about that kind of thing. So yeah, those are the hurdles I faced, and I'm everything that I have faced. Luckily, everything's getting a lot better, but yeah, that's what I faced in the past.
Power Forge wants us to talk about Sauce's play, but I'm going to throw this to Tyler because you were actually tweeting about his stream the other day. What do you think of the player Sauce?
He's really good. I mean, he's ladder heroing it up over on the Korean ladder. It's really nice. I watch his stream occasionally, and pretty impressed. He's got solid builds, but he likes to have a little twist on them, I think. And
play more.
What?
He's
Tell people to play more because I want to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him. I want to see what he's going to do after this practice stint in Korea. I think he's great.
I gotta scroll down these Twitter questions real quick. We'll probably take maybe 4 or 5 more. That might be even too many. Do any of you guys play custom maps? If so, what are your favorite? I actually know Select, Kiwikaki, and TT1 were playing a bunch of custom maps at the Blizzard Regionals. Tyler, you probably don't play any. Just knowing you.
Nope.
Jeff, you might.
Never played a single one.
DeMusliM, I'm not sure. DeMusliM, do you
I
play any
played like
custom maps?
5 in Brood War in my entire life. Like
I don't play custom games right now. I'm just focusing on getting good. But in Warcraft 3, I used to play customs all the freaking time, and I realized that they're actually really addictive too. So
Yeah.
in StarCraft 2, I just haven't touched them. I don't want the risk.
Dan, do you?
No, I haven't even played the single player yet, man. I don't know what's
Tyler's
going
played
on.
the single player, man. Like, what are you
They
doing?
have a
there,
lava
Chris?
level that kills all your bases and shit, and you have to make banshees. It's stupid.
To see.
Son of a Gnome says, why do you hate the Marauder with such a fierce passion, Artosis?
It's not a Terran unit, man. It's like the races are something from StarCraft 1, and then they added the Marauder, and now all these Terrans walk around saying, oh, look at me, I'm a Terran, and they're like walking around the map, having map control with a unit that's hard to kill and does a lot of damage, and it's just so not Terran. It's so not what I did for 10 years passionately. The unit disgusts me. I hate it. It's like the easy button. I hate the unit so much. I really, truly hate the Marauder.
One quick one, and then one weird one. Damien Sweet says, juice or milkshakes to Muslim?
Juice or milkshakes? Juice.
Alright, now for the weird one. From Gideon the Vandal, he says, if you guys became furries, what animals would you be? Jeff?
If I became what?
Dan would be a guinea pig.
Dan?
No, man. I'd be the sickest emu.
Sickest emu, okay. Why?
Man.
Well, I guess that wasn't in the question, so we don't have to ask
Can't stop
why.
my face from twitching after you said that. Like, you gotta.
Jeff, what's your animal?
What's my animal?
Yeah, man, if you became a furry, what animal would you be? Is the last question.
An English bulldog.
Tyler?
Some kind of dog. I can't specify the breed, but I feel like I'm a dog.
Ben, what about you?
Yeah, you're a golden retriever, Tyler.
He's a golden
Question, man.
Ben,
Let's
what
just get
animal?
real for a moment.
I'd be a lemur. Like, after seeing that YouTube video where the little lemur puts his arms up and gets his belly rubbed, like, I'd have to be that.
That's what I was going to say. I guess I'll say a three-toed sloth then. 'Cause they're fucking
Oh my
animals.
god, that's what I told Nick he would be. That's so funny.
Yeah, man. Fucking chill animals. Maybe that's what Tyler should have been, not a dog. I think dogs are too
Oh,
active.
dude, he's a golden
Sloth.
retriever.
He's a golden retriever?
Yeah, look at him.
Maybe so. Alright,
It's
well, hopefully that was enough, hopefully enough questions for you guys. We didn't... Dan, you visit Reddit a lot, right?
Yeah, I love Reddit.
What do you think of their switch to the self/text only thing?
You know,
It's not...
I feel like there's more information on the front page now, which is nice. But also, I'm like the biggest Rage comic fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just go to like the Reddit foo or whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
and just like read Rage comics because all those faces crack me up like every time. I must be retarded. I don't know.
You're just
It-
raised on the internet.
Yeah,
That's probably
so,
it.
That's
yeah.
definitely internet humor. Like, all those pictures are internet humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I like it better or worse. I'm sad to have no pictures. There were too many, but I feel like there should be some funny pictures or something.
Yeah, well, maybe
Yeah.
just like another Reddit or something. Tyler, Jeff, Ben, do you guys visit Reddit at all?
I read it a bit.
Yeah, I'll go there.
I read it, but I'm like a new user, so I haven't really noticed anything.
Jeff or Tyler, you guys have any thoughts on the change?
It's
I
gonna-
post like once a week. Sorry.
It's going to be like a...
I just like looking at the funny pictures, man.
It's going to be a chance for them to be something more, but whether or not they have it in them to like be something more, it's now their chance. Like, I don't think the change will actually instantly make it better, but we'll see. I think I don't know, were they kind of embarrassed of what they'd become? Because
that's kind of the same
like
across all of Reddit is what Reddit's becoming, where it's just all like pictures.
Yeah.
But
Like-
I fucking love it. It's hilarious as shit. So
Yeah, every MLG, like something dramatic happens. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check Reddit.
Yeah.
And 2 hours later to see the post.
yep.
I hope. I don't know that this will curb that. You know, this is more like about videos and pictures. But you
Yeah.
brought up a really good point. That is like, it's funny. We'll be sitting in the player area, and like, I will designate chunks of my brain power to decide how I'm sitting, what I'm doing while I'm sitting, because there's a ring of people around the player area. We're all
To make
they're
sure
all
you don't get
taking
pictures,
and
yeah.
shit. So if I do anything that I think will be turned into a weird picture, I'm kind of worried about it. And then I'll think on that thought and be like, well, fuck that. Like, that's stupid. Like, you can't actually cover everything, so why are you even trying? And then the thought goes around on that one, and is like, why are you talking to yourself? And then I fucking start eating my own blood and stuff. It's weird.
Well, Jeff, why don't you give some shout-outs? We'll wrap the show up.
I'm going to have a long one, man. Fairly long. I mean, I always do. Long-winded. But I just want to lead off by saying, like, on a regular basis, a lot of people message me and just say that they support me and are thinking of me and following everything I do and just want me to know that they appreciate the stuff I do. And, like, whether you agree with them or not or whatever, I just want to, like, I appreciate so much how positive and how genuinely kind a lot of people are. A lot of people. One of my sins in StarCraft 2, if you will, is I give far too much attention to the negativity of this game, but there is an awful lot of positivity, and I'm actually the bearer of a lot of it. So I just want people to know, like, I really appreciate their support, and it really means a lot to me. I was going through a pretty rough patch, like, getting my ass handed to me for the second MLG in a row where I was trying really hard to do well, and you know, this game's my life. I care about it more than anything else, almost anything else at all. It's really, really hard for me to kind of wake up each day and be that guy that just got his ass kicked and has to answer for it. So to have a lot of people supporting me that way, it really meant a lot. So love, prosper, and thank you to all of them. And then also my team, Evil Geniuses, wouldn't be here without them. Sponsors, Intel, Steel Series, Monster Energy Drink, Kingston HyperX, and InWin we just recently got, as well as a whole bunch of others. There's clothing support that we got going on right now. Greg's got a shirt up there. We're also putting some other ones. And by the way, at the last MLG I saw no less than like 30 or 40 EG jerseys, and that is seriously fucking awesome. Like, it's so cool that people care enough to support their teams, whether it be EG, Team Liquid, or whoever, enough to go buy their jersey and wear them out to these events. Like, that really means a lot. So thank you guys so much for doing that. And then, you know, Puma is actually leaving in 2 days, and I don't want to... Hello? Anya?
Anya.
That's another Arrested Development reference, but he's actually leaving in a couple days, so we're going to be really sad about that. We're going to miss him, but at least one more time, probably not tonight, probably tomorrow night, if he has it in his good graces, we'll do one more night of 2 vs. 2, so hopefully people will join us for that. I promise there to be Nuke Baneling combinations and some good tomfoolery. And then as far as my own gameplay, because a lot of people ask me about kind of what's going on, what I'm doing. Every day, trying to go to the gym, working out, getting outside the house, making sure my mind's clear, my mind's right. And then inside the house, we're trying to keep like a really positive vibe going on. Day 9's actually called me up out of the blue a few times just to coach me on not being so buried in the forums, which I have 26,000 posts on Team Liquid. I've come from posting on the forums. But as a programmer these days, I need to change that. I need to go back away from that. So been working on that. And then as far as training goes, taking a new approach, clearing my head, being more serious. And I'm already starting to play a lot better. I'm much more consistent, so I'm happy about that. And hopefully I can carry that to MLG Orlando. So that's my little update for everybody, and thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Tyler, shout-outs.
Team Liquid and our sponsors, Razer, the Little App Factory, and my sponsor, Stride Gum. Thank you guys. Keep it short and sweet. That's it.
Dan?
Well, we announced just recently there's going to be a documentary about Tasteless and myself, and he's coming out to Korea, and the documentarian basically needed to raise some funds. He's already followed us to a few events like BlizzCon last year and NASL. Yeah, and I can't really remember. My life is like a blur. But anyways, so we tweeted about it and made a little video and mentioned it, and people, I want to thank everyone. Everyone donated to it. It was really quite awesome. It's overfunded at this point, which makes it's just going to become better and better and higher production quality. And it's going to go to like film festivals and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll get more people involved in esports. So thank you so much to everyone who helped out with that. And if you want to check that out or put in a couple bucks or whatever, I just posted the link again on my Twitter. It's twitter.com/Artosis. So just thank you so much to everyone who did that.
Ben, you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to first and foremost say thank you to Team EG and all its sponsors: Intel, SteelSeries, Monster, Kingston, Sixpool Gaming, Inwin, Bigfoot Memory Cards, Intellect Stream Boards, and Gunner. I'd also like to thank everybody that's supported me for a very long time. I know I was out of action for quite a while due to being very stupid. I won't let that happen again. I'm now practicing more than ever, and I'm ready to truly take it serious. And if you have been a fan and you've been used to me getting knocked out early on in the tournament, I do apologize. Won't happen anymore. Very confident right now. And yeah, I'd like to thank all friends and family. Very happy with how things are going, and I'll try not to let anybody down in the future.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on and filling in kind of short notice for Sean. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, I think Sean will be off of his vacation. I think it was only a 1 week long thing. So we'll be back next Tuesday, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. Oh yeah, follow everyone on Twitter. You can find it right now if you're watching the video. If not, it's twitter.com/HateMeJP, Artosis, DeMusliM, EG in Control, and Tyler Washaleski. Just try to Google it or something. I don't know. Figure it out. We'll see you guys next week. It's the hardest Twitter to ever remember.
Gotta say is it's an honor to play you Teeler, and let's give the audience